Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies. My name's Angela, I'm the Crazy Pobbly Lady, and welcome to another surprise live. I did try and set it up so you got notified. Yeah, and then I put in the wrong time. And then I had to change it because hubby and daughter and Liam came back from their walk and they were proper chatting as they walked through the door and slammed it. So I was just like, yeah, delay for a few minutes. So as you can see here, I am wearing this very hot set of items. So they've been keeping me warm the last couple of days because here in my part of the UK we've had snow again. So I was like, do you know what? I've got one of my girls testing and she's been doing absolutely a beautiful job. She is speeding through. She's done the hat and the gloves, and the cowl I know is simple enough, so and written in the same way, so I know that it is going to be perfectly fine for her to get through. And if there is a spelling mistake, it'll be the English words and not the pattern itself, thankfully. So worst case scenario is I will swap out for a changed version or just put a little note down the bottom saying I spelt this word wrong. Okay, so fingers crossed some of you get notified, and fingers crossed some of you do in fact pop in, because of course this isn't my normal time, is it? It's just me trying to be a little bit cheeky because yet again I haven't actually recorded a whips, bits and chat for this week. Because I've just been bogged down with making sure these patterns and a few others will actually be completed for you and get out for you. Because of course you know about Ellie and you know about Monkey that way, and you know about the one on here because I wore it on the live earlier on in the week. I've just got to finish them ones up as well. So fingers crossed some of you are in. I know there's at least one person watching because that's me. I'm watching on my own device. So we'll just have to see how it goes, and fingers crossed you guys will start popping in and going hello and stuff like that. Okay, so as you can see, this is a set. Although when I post stuff up on Ravelry, they don't like you to put it as a set. They like you to do individual patterns and then squish them all together as a set. So that's roughly what I've done this time round. So what you can do is, if you would like to purchase just one of the patterns, whether it be the hat, the cowl or the gloves, you can do. Now they are priced in at £4 each. If you decide you want the whole set, then until the end, it's alright, I've got it written down here, until the end of May, so that's May the 31st, the hat, the cowl and the gloves will all be bundled in a set on discount when you get to checkout. So make sure that you click all three of them if you want the discount, and then you need to apply a code, because of course you're my crazies and my crazies get codes, and the code is all in capitals B2G1F. Sounds strange, doesn't it? But it's buy two get one free. So that's B2G1F, and the details for that, and of course where you can copy it so that you know it's exactly the same, is in the description box of this video. And there are also a link at the top of the chat that will take you through to, I believe it's the Fingerless gloves one, as well as links to all three of them in the description box down below. I can't believe nobody's found the live yet. Either that or I'm just not seeing it properly. I really don't know. But fingers crossed one of you will find me at some point and you can tell me whether you like it or not. Oh, I'm pushing buttons in the wrong spots, but thankfully it's nothing on the computer, it's just on my tablet. Yeah, so hopefully you like this pattern. As you can see, with me getting pinker and pinker, it's really nice and warm. So it's absolutely ideal for going out for a walk with the dog or the walk with the family, or even if it's just for the school run. Okay, so let me see. What else have I got for you today? Right, let's take those off because I can't touch stuff properly. Well, I can. It's just I feel like they're ginormous clouds. Hey, Marcia, welcome in, darling. Good morning. She's saying good morning to Poppy. Good morning to me. Sorry, my brain is already fuzzled. It's the hat, it's the heat, it's everything. Welcome in, darling. What are you creating today? If you missed out on the first few moments, I was just showing off my latest pattern, which is now available over on Ravelry. Yay, the girls are coming in. Welcome in, Roberta. Morning, darling. Okay, so that's my American crowd coming in. Okay, over here at the moment it is 2:30 p.m, just after lunchtime. Right, okay, so as I was saying, the hat, and I'm gonna have to do an impression of Michael Jackson, I think. Get the left glove I should say. Right, over on Ravelry now, it went live this morning, is this set. It is for a hat, a cowl and a glove. Okay, now if you want to purchase the whole pattern, make sure that you jump into the comment section of this video where there is a discount code that you can copy and paste, so that when you pop over to Ravelry, you click all three of the items, pop the code in, and it will give you a buy two get one free. Now that offer is up until, I've already forgotten it, the 31st of March, or unless a certain number of the patterns are sold. Now I've set it above anything I've ever sold before, like the amount of patterns I've sold before, so I know that pretty much all of my crazies that want it can grab it before that point. And then after that point, the set will be £10, but individually they're £4 each. Okay, so Marsha is working on a crochet cardigan and says congratulations. Thank you. It is one of many that will be coming out over the next couple of months. Not one, I should say. 3. It's 3. But it's the main bit done. Right, I'm going to have to take this off and show you my head. I'm happy to leave that one on for a bit, but the hat, it just boils you up. Hey, Kelly, welcome in. She says hello to me and everybody in chat. So, Marsha, Kelly, what are you making today, girls? I'm up here telling you about the set and avoiding making another item. It's in cotton. Need I say any more, really? But I need to get it done, at least to a point where I know that the joining works, so that I can send it over to my tester, who's like, yeah, I'm going to do it for you. And I'm like, oh, it's not the pattern I'm talking about. It's not overly tough, but it's a motif, and it's got a cheeky joining method. And depending on the size she picks, depends of course on how many motifs she's going to make, and each motif can take about 45 minutes, I suppose, and I've made quite a few of them so far for my floofy body. Okay, so Marsha is saying it is hard to design and come up with a pattern. She would like to crochet or design her own cardigan or sweater and do a written pattern for it. Do I have any advice? Oh, okay, my best advice is research, research, research. Because if you're doing clothing like a sweater, people are going to want it in more than one size. So you definitely need to understand crochet math. I'm sorry to say, there's a lot of math involved. Sometimes you can get away with doing a between this size and this size sort of pattern, and then giving the multiples if it is easy enough for someone to follow. But the more I'm writing up patterns and the more I'm doing them, the more I've realised that a lot more people want the individual sizes written in. So of course, where I'm in the UK, our sizing is different to the US and to other countries. We do it in blocks of, so for my size it's a 16 to 18. Technically I'm a 17, but I can't compare that to any clothes in any of the shops, because one shop I'll be a size 12 and the next one I'm a size 20. So it does depend on where the clothes are made as well for us here in the UK. I think the sizing for America and other places where they're using inches or centimetres and telling you the overall size, I think that is the best method you can do when it comes to writing up your patterns. So I say, oh, for me, this is a size blah, blah, blah. And then I have to give up my inches and centimetres. I have to give it up in the pattern so you guys know how wobbly I am. The top half looks quite thin. The bottom half is very rounded. So yeah, that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is write it out as you make it. Every single little step. Don't think you're going to remember it, because sometimes, depends on the pattern, but sometimes you don't, and sometimes you forget to add that little detail in, and if you're lucky enough to get some beautiful testers, they'll point out that you've mucked up and this is not working for them, and then you have to sit there and think about what you did and how you did it to get to that point. So it's always best to write every single detail down. It's taken me at least a year and a bit to work that one out. But then saying that, I started with corner to corner blankets, so for me it was easier once I had the basic pattern or the directions written out for how to do the corner to corner. Then all I needed to do was the row by row for the next pattern. Whereas now I'm changing to different items each time, so each time I'm having to find the best method that works so that the pattern is readable by as many people as possible. And another one, get testers that you trust, and testers that will actually tell you if you've got an issue. I've had some beautiful testers over the time, but I had one say to me the other week, oh, I didn't want to, I've noticed a problem but I didn't know how to tell you. And I'm like, you tell me, because if it goes out and it's not been picked up, then somebody will either struggle to read the pattern or struggle to make the pattern. So I always say to my testers, be brutally honest, as brutal as you possibly can be, and a bit more, because I won't get offended, but what I will do is get upset if the pattern goes out and then I get complaints. Okay, so let's have a nose at what else, because I could chat about that for quite a bit longer, Marsha. So Kelly is saying she's working on a blanket for a gift. Ooh. Jay, welcome in, darling. Kelly's saying hi to everybody. Roberta's working on a king-sized crochet bedspread and a shawl for Linda and June's cowl or whatever it is. She's switching between 4 weight for speed and 1 weight for shawl. Ouch. I have a nightmare switching between yarn weights. I end up either crocheting the first row of it either too tight or too loose, depending on what it is. So that's why I try and keep to the same project till it's done. Yes, Kelly, she's saying that sizing is challenging, but you can research it online. Yeah, there's plenty of places where you can get the standardised size for your country or others online with a really lovely, really easy chart. It does depend on the item you're planning to make as to and how you want to construct it, to which method you would use. And it's always good to add pattern increases. So if someone like me is between sizes, that you can say, oh, for this pattern it's so and so plus repeats, and then they can go, oh well, actually I need a 1/2 inch and that section of the pattern is 1/2 inch. Brilliant, I'll slide another one in. Oh, she gave me virtual hugs. Oh, thank you, Marsha. She's saying thank you so much for answering my question. Virtual hugs. Did I sound smart enough, Gil? I have my moments. And that was quite a good one, actually. I just let my brain tick out and shove the words out. So hopefully it made sense. Okay, so So what are you... yeah, so Marsha's saying hello to Miss Kelly. Right, I'm going to run a little competition off of this video. It's not going to be for this set, mind. But it may be for either that top there or one of the other patterns over on the Ravelry shop. Now, what I'd like you to do is, if you recognise it or if you fancy searching, help me identify some yarn. Kelly, I know you're good at this, girl. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is pop back to the video and put your best guess in, basically, as to what you think this yarn is, because I need to identify it or I can't release that pattern, or I have to, of course, make it again with a different yarn. I don't want to make it again. I've got another two that I've got to make after the one I'm already making. Okay, so here we go. This is the yarn. Now, it came as a hank. It came in a mill end bag when I was in Melbourne, Australia. I got it in Spotlight. It's still available in some of the stores, or at least it was. Okay, I've spotted it a couple of times in some of the images I've seen online in the last week or so. Now, it came in at least 3 different colours that I've seen. Okay, so there is this one, which is actually not red, it's pink. So it's pink and green. I've seen it in orange and yellow and blue and another colour. Okay, so this is the problem I have. It is a chain spun yarn. I can give you as much detail as possible. It is a chain spun yarn. And these floofy bits that are on here, you can't cut them off to make sewing in easier. I tried. Luckily, I tried on a scrap piece, because as soon as I cut the top of the floof off, the whole thing undid. So it's actually spun into the chain. So there is the floof. Let me get my face out of the way. Okay, and that is what it looks like. Now, what I'm going to do actually is place an image of this with some nice close-up images onto my community tab. So to enter the competition today, I would like you to do your best at identifying this yarn, and then pop your answer either on this video once it goes into replay, or of course over on the community tab. I'm more likely to see it on either, so it doesn't matter too much. Okay, and it's a basic have a good guess at it, and I'm going to keep it going till the end of the month. Okay, and what you'll win is either a copy of that pattern with the identified yarn, so we know what it is, or a copy one of the other patterns over on Ravelry. Or of course you can choose one of the C2C winner only patterns. Okay, so let's see. Marsha is saying it's one of her goals is to crochet a sweater or a cardigan and write up the pattern for it. It is a beautiful goal to have, darling. You find the method of creating that you prefer. When I first started, the first one out was my crazy cat lady, and that is from the bottom up, because I found it easier to create a massive panel and then fold it fold it sort of in on itself, and then work out where the holes were for the arms, and then work out how to join the shoulders. So that was my first piece of clothing, and to be honest, that is a really nice method of doing it, and it means then that people can extend as they need to. You just have to make sure that when you're writing out the pattern, you put guidance so that they don't have wonky armholes or wonky sides, unless you want wonky sides, like the front flaps, so to speak, for a cardie. Okay, Scraptastic, welcome in, darling. You got offline just as I woke up this morning, woman. Or was it yesterday? But I know, I keep checking, and you keep going before I get to say hello. Hello. So Scraptastic is saying, how are things today? They are beautiful. Thank you ever so much, darling. And our cheeky Sandra, I've got no chance of saying your channel name today, babe. My brain is not letting me do it. So, but she says, hello, sweetie. Hello, darling. Okay. And Kelly is saying hello to everybody, and I've got her thinking, I wonder what about. Oh, could it be? This yarn. As I said, I will put up on my community tab later a photograph of this a bit closer up. So if you have any ideas on what this brand of yarn is, I can tell you the basics, but I need the brand so that I can either direct people to purchase it or go and purchase some more. I don't want to work with it again, so it'll be inflict it on others basically. It came in a hank, okay, and it is chain spun, and you can't cut the bobbly bits off, otherwise the yarn breaks. It was bought as a milling bag. So if you have any ideas of what this is, pop the comment, pop your answer, because that's going to be a question. Start again. That is the question for today's competition that will run until the end of the month, is can you identify it? Simples. You get extra bonus points if you actually do it, but everybody will be included into the draw that answers. I'm evil, but I'm not that evil. But it would be really lovely if you run off and have a nose at your favourite shop. Okay, so where are we going? Yeah, Sandra, it is a very interesting. I managed to get it to work with a single crochet, but I was only crocheting the white sections. So when I was doing it, I was having to make sure that I was catching it either side to make it bobble so it looks like it does in that top behind me. You could just do it normally, but then you'd see the white, and I didn't want to see the white. I was being very fussy. I was like, don't want to, not doing it. So that top took me probably twice as long as it would have done if it was just a plain yarn, because I was sitting there very methodically making sure that every stitch sat in the same place at the same angle. My husband was like, you're working that really slow. I was like, yeah. It is interesting to work with. I've just not really done worked with that much speciality yarn before. I've done eyelash yarn. It's a seat cover. Actually, the cat actually nicked it for a bed, but she's no longer with me, so it's now a seat cover. So I've used that, and now I've used this, and now I can honestly say I probably won't use it again because of the amount of time it took me to make the item, although it has come out really pretty. Mishi, welcome in, honey pie. Everybody's saying hello. Mishi says it looks interesting. It really is, darling. As I said, I loved working with it. Right, okay, so for the new guys that have just popped in, I've got 3 new patterns up over on my Ravelry shop. It is for this cow, fingerless glove, and hat. Okay, the information for them and the links for those are in the description box down below. If you choose to purchase all 3 of them, make sure that you use the discount code that's there. It's all capitals. It's B2G1F. So that's B2G1F. That's buy 2 get 1 free. And that code runs out on the 31st of May. Who thinks of these things? I think this was invented by a man. No, sorry, I shouldn't say stuff like this. I think this was invented by somebody that wanted a challenge. Just like that granny square yarn. And the thing was, I've been to Yarnspirations already. It's not on in their site. It's not on a couple of other places as well. What I will do is, if you can suggest companies or anything else like that after the live, I can go off and hunt their sites. I don't mind doing that. It just means there's a higher chance I might purchase something new. No, I will keep my cash card and my PayPal well away from my computer. I'm still trying to work through my stash. And as you can see over that corner, there's still a bit to go. The granny square yarn, I've actually had a go at it. I've got 2 videos up now on here one showing the granny square or my attempts to make it and how wound up I got, and then the next one showing 2 hexagons that I'd made and another couple of designs. So in total there was 4 designs on the second one, all made with the granny square yarn, and one of them you did have to cut the yarn though. And I've actually done some different squares that that work with that yarn as well. What was there? I think I've got 3 and I need to find a 4th because I like everything to be matchy. I'm a bit awkward like that. But I was too busy doing that, too busy doing this, and I thought, well, I'll get back to it when I get back to it, because I've only got, I think, enough for another 2 squares or rectangles or something. So I'm gonna have some fun with it, and then I'm gonna choose on one of the patterns and I'm gonna rip the rest back and make something using that one pattern. And because I think otherwise it's just gonna be a waste, isn't it? It works out that the mill end bag that I got, I can actually get 20 squares out of, so it means that I can get a bit bigger of a project than what most people who only get the one skein of that, because I believe that's 14 squares in the granny square yarn that you can get out of one, whereas the mill end bags are the only way you could get it at the moment in Australia. Long shot, very long shot if any of my Aussies are still up. Oh, hold on, what time are we on? 2 in the afternoon. Yeah, very unlikely if any of my gorgeous Aussies are up, but if you are, get yourself over to Spotlight, because in the mill end bins at the moment there's at least 4 different colours that I've seen of that granny square yarn, and in most cases it's either $12 or below, so it's a heck of a lot cheaper than importing it, because when I was looking it up they wanted $22 to $26 per ball. Quick, told ya, Spot is cheaper. But yeah, that's definitely worth a go, and all the guys and girls in America, have fun with it. At the end of the day, you don't have to use it for granny squares. Right, okay. Which is saying probably accidental invitation. I don't know, I'm a bit lost there. I can't remember what I was saying as you popped up, darling. Yarn Works, our cheeky Lydia is in. Welcome in, darling. And she's saying, Kelly, I emailed you. Please check it out. Being nosy. Anything interesting? Oh, definitely in one of them moods, girls. Okay, so at this moment in time on the channel, I haven't got anything coming up next week. I haven't actually made any videos for the channel because my library's run out of books when I go to the search engine and just type in the word crochet. So now I'm going to have to research books that and get the spellings of their name correct. It was so much easier when I could just type crochet, because at least then I knew I'd spelt that word correctly. So at some point I will have to go back to go back to the library app, book a load of books in, or at least try and find some more crochet books that probably haven't got the word crochet in their title. So it's going to take me a little longer to get back on track with the books. As for tutorials, the next one out will be Ellie, but Ellie is the written patterns in testing and the video itself hasn't been finalised yet. I've still got to put Ellie together, but that will be a 3-part video set. It will come up later on in the year. I just don't know when. And then I'm going to have to get my brain in gear and start working on other things. Dyeing of yarn as well is on a hiatus at the moment because the temperature here in the UK is ridiculous. So it takes too long for it to dry naturally. I did have a really cool drying clothes drying system. It's like a buddy, and I was drying the yarn in there over the winter because I could control the temperature and stuff like that. But then my daughter loaded it up with clothes and put too much in, and the heating element melted. So we couldn't use it. I've still got the outside casing and the frame and everything, because I thought, oh, I can still use it. I'll just get a new heater for it because it had melted. You can't get the heaters anymore as a replacement. So we went and bought another one, but we couldn't find the exact same one we wanted. So we bought this new and improved version. It arrived, I started putting it together, and I'm saying to my husband, this isn't going to work. And he's like, of course it will. I said, it's not going to work. I'm the shortest person at 5'8" in this family, and the last one we had, the trousers were just a smidge away from the bottom of this 2-tier, and we'd have to hang them over 1 tier, like hang them through the tiers, sorry. So I could only hang on the top level. Right, well, with this new one, or what was the new one, I would hang it and the trousers would be folded up at the bottom. So I would have had to have overfolded, which meant I could have only put in 4 pairs of trousers, or 3 if that. And so I said to my husband, it's not worth it, not for 3 pairs of trousers. To be honest, I'd be able to dry a load of washing quicker if I hung it up in front of the the lounge windows, because we've got a long patio window. The sun streams through in the winter for at least 16, like not 16 hours, that's a bit too long, because basically from about 10 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock when the sun starts going down, that's when the sun is coming through that window, or the patio I should say. So because of that, I put the washing up in front of it, and it beats in and it dries it within a couple of hours. It's brilliant. So that's what I'm now doing, but I can't do that with the yarn because I've got the dog, and he likes to lay underneath where the washing is and trump a lot. So because of that, I don't want the yarn becoming stinky puppy. So that's another reason why there's no yarn dyeing at the moment either. Okay, Roberta's saying she has no interest in the granny square yarn. She believes squares are made out of leftover yarn. To be honest, yeah, I would probably say the same. I think the difference is it makes it easier. Say you're doing like say it was me and I could get hold of it. I might actually get hold of it to take on a plane, to make something whilst I'm on the plane, because you'd only have to possibly carry 1 to 2 of them rather than lots of different colours. But other than that, I don't intend to purchase it again. Been there, done it, dusted. I've tried it, it wound me up, and that's it really. But as I said, I want to make something out of what I've got, because I don't want it just to sit there and go to waste. But it then means that I can say, look, I've made this out of it, and just show you something. At the moment it's lots of 2 squares sewn together. It's just like 2 slap. Oh look, it's fake gloves. I don't actually know what they're meant to be. I just sewed them together and thought that'll do as a pocket or something, I suppose. But as I said, I'm gonna undo them all and redo it, because thankfully I didn't sew in any ends. Okay, so what sort of yarn do you girls like working with? At the moment, I'm going through a phase. I'm going back through the phase of DK, which is a US 3-weight or an Australian 8-ply. But then I have noticed something. When I went over to Australia last, I noticed that the 8-ply wasn't as thick as the DK that I'm used to using. It's sort of thinner DK. So the DK is more like Stylecraft's DK, whereas I'm used to working with an Aldi, or which a bit I shouldn't really keep using them as a reference, or the Signet the Signet Everyday DK, and that to me feels more like a 12 weight when I compare the two. And when it comes to the cottons, my hand dyed that I took over was a DK, and that was so thick it felt more like the 4-ply. And I'm just like, this is getting doolally now, because I've noticed the same with American yarns. Some of them are they say it's one thing on the label, and when I compare it, it's a lot thicker or a lot thinner than the stuff that I've got here. Okay, so Mishi's saying that she enjoys all sorts, just really depends on the project. And Sandra is saying that she is loving a one weight for shawls right now. She thought it would be hard to work with, but it's not. At least it's not for her. What hook size are you using for the one weight? I don't think I've gone down to a 1 yet, unless that's fingering weight. I can't remember. I thought fingering was a 2, but it might not be. That's only because I haven't looked at labels for a while to actually remember. Okie dokies. Where are we? $4mm for drape. Crikey, I've not used a hook that large on that thinner yarn before. Okay, so sorry, Sandra said that she's using a 4mm hook for drape. And Roberta's come in with that she likes a 1 or a 2 weight, but sometimes it bothers her hands if she uses a thin yarn all the time. She normally switches to a DK or a 4 weight to give her hands a break. Well, that's the thing, here in the UK, most of the yarns we can get are DK, which is a 3 weight, or we can sometimes get the 4 weights. We don't really go for the bulkier weight yarns. They're not really a done thing unless we call them a speciality yarn. And then the lighter weight ones you have to go searching for as well, unless of course it's cotton. If it's cotton, then you can get them, but there's only certain places. Yeah, we don't seem to have as much access to choice in our stores, because we've got our Hobbycraft, and they have taken over the market, and so the little independents do struggle, and the other shops, we don't really get a lot of choice. It's normally their own brand, which is rebanded from elsewhere. But like our pound shops, their yarn is horrible. It's scratchy. Another shop that I used to go to, they've just closed their doors, but it looks like they might be reopening again. That's Wilkinson's. So fingers crossed. And then another place that I've been to is B&M and The Range as well. They both do yarn, but only a small choice in both. And I am talking, how to put it, no more than the equivalent of 2 of those cubes wide by 4 high in shelving. So you're looking at an end panel for your Kmart's, or not Kmart, your Big M's. No, that's still Australia. I'm still Michael's. There we go. I'll get there in the end. But yeah, that's pretty much the choice in those shops. So most of the time we end up importing stuff in, but now the cost of packet postage and import costs have gone through the roof. So I don't import at the moment either, because I just can't afford it. Okay, so Roberta's saying that she doesn't care for a 5 weight or above. I can't really say I've got a preference for it. I think I've only ever done one thing with it, with a weight that big, and it was quite a fluffy. It was similar to like an eyelash yarn, not eyelash. Oh, what's it called? I can't think what it's called. It's like fluffy all the way around. But it was very chunky, and I made a couple of scarves with it, but it was on a day that I don't want to remember, because it was the day we lost our geriatric, or should I say helped our geriatric across the bridge. So that's the only time I've used yarn that thick. Dinky, welcome in, sweetie. She's saying hi, Poppy, hi, and everyone in chat. And Michelle is saying she is ready for elephant pattern. Got a bit further to go, darling. It's going through testing as we speak. Or yeah, because she got it this morning and she said she's going to start on it when she gets home. And I haven't heard from her since she got home, so she's probably on it. Yeah, so the elephant is on its way. She's cute at the back there, isn't she? Now that is the larger one. That is actually a pyjama case / rucksack or carry bag. So it's set up the same. It's still got rucksack handles, so little one can put the stuff in it and put it on, and off they go to nanny's or granddad's or whoever's. But the written pattern will have 2 sizes in it now, not the one. So it's 2 sizes. One's a soft-bodied elephant, so there's no stuffing in the body at all, and that one's ideal for little ones. So we're talking baby and up. There is no false eyes on it. There's no pressed shop bought eyes. You crochet them and sew them on, so then you know they are secure. So yeah, both of those patterns will be included within the one that will be available over on Ravelry. Fingers crossed in a couple of weeks' time. So Kelly saying hi to Dinky, Dinky saying hi to Kelly. So girls that have just popped in, what are you up to today? What are you making? I'm driving everybody insane. Now the plan is that I'm only going to stick about for about an hour today, because I've still got stuff to do around the house, and then carry on writing patterns before my brain shuts down. Okay, so remember, as a quick reminder, I have to do it every now and then. A quick reminder for the hat, cowl and glove set. There's the hat, there's the cowl, and there is one of their fingerless gloves. For the set, if you go into the description box down below, there is links to all 3. There's also a discount code, and the discount code is all in capitals: B2, a G, a 1F. That's buy 2 get 1 free. So if you pop all 3 into your basket at checkout and use that code, you will get one of those patterns for free. And that runs until the 31st of May. After the 31st of May, all 3 combined will be £10, or they're going to be £4 each. You can also just buy the one, whichever one you prefer, or none. But they won't be coming onto the channel any time soon, because I didn't bother recording them. I was just enjoying crochet. I should explain, when I'm recording, I'm having to sit at a very awkward angle, so it hurts my hands, it hurts my back, it hurts my wrists, so I physically don't enjoy making the tutorials anymore, because it is very painful for me. But if I'm sitting on the sofa and I'm just knocking them up, that's how I can make multiple patterns in one hit. So although I'm doing Ellie for the channel, there is going to be one of the Ellies coming in for the channel. At the moment, that's sitting at 50 hours under the camera so far. Yeah, hence why I'm taking a break. So let's see. Mishi is saying hi to all that have popped in. She's making a cup of coffee and starting some laundry. Go for it, girl. And Dinky is saying she's making her stomach fuller with a late lunch. Oh, you sneaky. Guess what I've got to do? I had a late breakfast. I had a couple of bits of toast and then came on. I'm like, I really should have made lunch instead. Teresa is saying she's making a C2C thanks to me. because she learned how. Oh, that's brilliant. Whose pattern are you following this time, darling? Or are you using one of the winner only patterns that you got a while ago? I'm sure you've got the whole set, haven't you? You've been here long enough. Michelle saying hi to Kel. Everybody is saying hi to everybody again. And we've even got an afternoon dinky at the bottom there. What other things are you girls are working on at the moment? Have you made your list of items that you plan to make this year yet? Or are you just going with the flow, finishing one and seeing what pops into your head, or which one pops out of your computer screen or your pattern collection for the next? Right, okay, so I'm going to repeat myself again. At the end of this video today, I'm going to be putting up a post over on my community tab asking you to help identify this yarn for me. This one here. Okay, I'm going to leave it up for a month. I'm going to run it as a competition, and the photos will be closer so you'll have a better look at them. Everybody who pops an idea down in the comments section of either that post or this video will be included into a draw, and one of you will either win a copy of that pattern if we've identified the yarn or one of the other patterns either on the Ravelry shop or a winner only pattern. So that is, got any ideas? Jot it down. Okay, because I need to identify it. Okay, so let me see. Afternoon Dinky Jane. Right, okay, so Teresa is just making an ombre one. Ombre what one, woman? My brain's not filling in extra words today. Michelle is saying too many ideas in her head, too many projects she needs to finish. It's like us all though, babe. Dinky's saying it looks like a fancy string. Okay, so I'll bring it back up again. What it is a chain spun yarn. Now, if you cut these bobbly sections, get my head out of shot. If you cut these bobbly sections off, the whole thing unravels. Thankfully, I tested it on a scrap piece of yarn, so we know it's chain spun. Okay, and it came in hanks of 50 grams. That is all I can tell you. Now I contacted Reggie at J Hook Crochet because I know she likes crazy yarn like this. I even contacted Bag a Day, our gorgeous Crystal. Now she did come back with one, but the photographs that I found online are not very clear for that yarn. So I'm hoping that it's one of these yarns that's made in one place and sold to multiple others for resale. That's what I'm physically hoping it is. Or it's going to be a new one that's due to come out in the next couple of months, because I bought it the same time as I bought that Granny Square yarn. And I bought it this very similar week, and it was over in Australia, and the Granny Square yarn's not available over there in in skein form at the moment. It's not been released over there, so the only way they can get it is through the mill end bags. So I'm thinking, could it be that it's another one from Yarn Inspirations that's coming out soon? So I did check Yarn Inspirations, but there wasn't anything like it on there. So I really just don't know at the moment. Have I tried a Google Lens? You can tell by the face that's a no. I don't know what that is. I was going to do Google reverse image search, but I need to take a new image to do it. I just haven't got to it yet because it's a case of prioritising one over another at the moment. I can't multitask as well as I used to before I got that dreaded COVID. I'll say it like that, COVID. Okay, so the C2C is in a red heart ombre. Okay, how's the striping working up on that? I'm not the best when it comes, if I'm doing stripes, I have to have separate balls of colour. I cannot have it finishing in the middle unless it's one of these ones that the colour blends in. So you notice the stripe as you stand further back rather than looking at it close, if that makes sense. Ninja, no. Welcome in, honey. I haven't seen you in ages. I'm not going to be around for much longer, but I'll if you're free, I'll drop you a message, or drop me a message, and we'll chat after the live, babe. I haven't caught up with you in ages. Okay, so Roberta's saying she wants to make lots of wearables this year, but she is also making grannies and putting them up for later projects. She's used up all the leftover yarn. Congratulations, darling. Well, you'll have finished it for this week until the next project's finished. But then saying that, if you're doing squares at the end of the projects, then it's quite a nice way of keeping the stash down, isn't it? When I go to Google, there's a square little symbol. Take a pic, and it will try and find what it is. Ooh. I desperately want to do that now, but I best not venture off and do something else on my computer, otherwise it'll probably drop the line, the stream down. But thank you ever so much for those details. I will definitely be looking into it. I've got my camera ready to go over here, so I can put it under the camera and hopefully get a clear enough picture. Okay, so Teresa is saying that the stripes are working out okay, but she thinks it would drive me crazy. So they're a little bit off. Sometimes you can be really, really lucky, and the yarn and everything that you're using works so that as you get to the larger point, you end up with like 1 row or 2 rows of the colour, and then when you start reducing again, it will repeat the sequence, so to speak, but giving you thicker rows. But honestly, I would just prefer to have multiple colours all sitting by the side of me. But then saying that, most of you who are here, have been here a while, know most of my scrap got used up in corner to corner pictographs because I would weigh those balls first, write down on the label how much was left, use those in the tutorials, and then if I had to crack open another ball of yarn, I would write on the side of it plus 100 grams or whatever, and then at the end of the project I would weigh what was left, and then add like 5 grams or something, and then write in the pattern how much yarn I'd used, because in my head, if it's always over, you haven't got to worry about playing yarn chicken. And that's what I do with all of mine. I always add a chunk. It's not like I would take this and the other items, weigh them and go, oh, okay, so that's how much I used. It would be weigh it, add a percentage on top. Because, well, I don't know about you, but I'm very good at mucking up. So I know that 400 grams made that set, but it made that set plus a pair of too big to wear gloves. So it's actually made the whole set plus some gloves, another set of gloves, and I've got some leftovers. Where again? Ninjas okie dokies. Unique amazing stripes are welcome in, darling. She's saying hi, Poppy, and everyone in chat. And Teresa is going to be making a double blanket out of it. Ouch! That'll keep you going. But then saying that, see, once it's in your head and you know where your corners are and stuff like that, you can whiz backwards and forwards if it's a simple, if it's a no colour change one like you're doing. You could sit there and do it in the dark while watching your favourite films or TV programmes. Rover, welcome in, darling. She says, love your guidelines. Good morning. My guidelines. You've got me all confluged. I don't know what you're going on about, woman. Dinky is saying hi, Faith. And Teresa is also working on a 2-coloured granny king-size blanket. Crazy woman. And Dinky is saying hi to Robin. I haven't done a blanket for quite a while, actually. I don't know. I've got a couple of ideas for them. I just don't want to make them because I know how big they're going to be and to take up they're going to end up taking up a lot of room in here because we don't have crochet on the beds. Because we all like to cocoon ourselves, and we all wiggle around quite a bit, and we have a dog that likes to jump on us in the middle of the night, and the probability of him catching his claws in crochet is quite large, and he loves laying on it, and he has to be told not to quite regularly. So that's why we don't have it on crochet on our bed. I suppose in a couple of years' time, or quite a few years' time, when he's no longer with us, there is a higher chance that I'll possibly put crochet in the bed. If I'm making it up to look pretty because someone's coming to stay and they're nicking my bed, like my parents and stuff, then I make up the bed and I put the runner that I made, which is one of Courtney at Fiberfox Studios mosaic patterns that I won. I made a giant long runner with it. I was just like, I want to use up this yarn. I was going to be all clever and make a jacket with her pattern. And I got halfway and I was just like, no, because I can't work out how to get the pattern to go at that point. I couldn't work out how to do it. I know now what I need to do, but back then I didn't. So I just kept going until I ran out of yarn, and the thing fits a 3-seater sofa or a 2-seater sofa, and it goes up and over. But basically I shove that on the bed if I've got guests over, or it's downstairs in my lounge at the moment because we've had some cold weather. That thing holds the heat, so I end up putting that over my legs, wrap up and over my feet all the way up, and it sits under here with a fold over, and then I crochet on while I'm sitting under it, and that keeps me warm. And the back door could be open and the breeze could be coming through at -2, and sitting under that thing, don't feel it, don't feel the cold at all. Absolutely love it. So I'd probably end up making a blanket like that next, if I chose to do it, which I'm not. I'm not saying I am. I'm not stitching myself up. I'm not doing it. Where are we going? We've had a couple jump walking, 2 granny size blanket, Robin. Where are we going? So Dinky is going to frog a hat. She didn't like the way it turned out, so we'll change yarn and then remake it. Good thinking, Batgirl. What are you going to do with the other yarn though? Are you going to cake it up and try a different pattern maybe? A couple of people are saying hello. Trudy, hello beautiful, haven't seen you for a little while. She's saying hello, Angela, and everyone in chat. I should explain, if I say stuff like haven't seen you in a while, it's not because of you, it's because of me, because I haven't done lives for like 6 months until this last week. So it's not you, it's me. And no, that's not a breakup line either. Please stay, please. Linda is saying hi to Faith and Jennifer. Or our Dinky. I can't do it. I can't call her by a proper name. Even offline when she pops up and I go, "Woo, hello Dinky." She just can't escape it. She just can't. Right, okay. So other things that have happened on this channel this week. There was another live earlier on last week. If you haven't had a chance to catch it, I'd appreciate it if you did. In regards to this live, after the live, if you fancy having a hunt around and seeing if you can identify this yarn, if you know what it is, pop it in the comments section of this video, please. Or pop it onto the post that will be going up after this live, with some closer, nicer photos so that you can see the yarn a bit better. And that'll be on the community tab. So if you pop a comment there or on this video after the live, then your name will be entered into a draw that will be pulled at the end of the month. Okay, and you'll be able to win either a winner only pattern or one of the patterns over on Ravelry. See, I'm being really nice. And if we identify it, yeah, whoever identifies it gets a copy of that pattern as well. So there you go. Bonus! You could get 2 patterns, you never know. And for anybody that's just popped in and doesn't know, this is the latest set. Oh crikey, my camera's going funky. I best get on quick. Right, so we've got the cowl, the hat and the glove set. Now this is available over on Ravelry as separates at this moment in time. They are £4 each. If you choose, if you put all three in your basket, make sure to use the code, all capitals, B2G1F. That's buy two get one free. And that code is also written in the description box down below. That means you will get all of the patterns for all three of those patterns for £8. Once a certain number has been sold at that price, or the 31st of May rolls around, that is when they will go on to their regular price of £10 for the set, or of course £4 each. So fingers crossed a couple of you like it. There's the amount that I've put up for grabs at that lower price is more than I've ever sold in any other pattern, so I assume that anybody that wants it will be able to get it at that price as long as it's before May the 31st. Okay, right, I think that's about it for me for today, because my camera's starting to play up. Fingers crossed it didn't play up with the vocals. I will check that in a little while, but I'm going to have to head off now. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Yep, for joining me today. Oh, my brain. Yeah, so thank you ever so much for joining me today. And I hope to see you really soon. Please remember, stay chilled, stay happy and keep crafting. Goodbye, everybody. Now, where was that off button? Not on there. I'll find it in half hour. Bye.